There is power in the Acts of Eating series 2. Stay tuned to your Daily Grace Inspiration Message on Feeding on Jesus International. Our reading Bible verse for today is taken from the book of Psalm 23 verse 5. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil, my cup runs over. Amen. Amen. We're still talking about the Holy Communion or the Lord's Supper, the Eucharist, or whatever you call it. Brethren, the table is set. The bread and wine are there. And Jesus says to you, come, my child, partake. But you tell him, Lord, I'm unworthy. You are afraid to come to the Lord's table, perhaps because you have been taught that if you partake in your unworthy state, you will come under God's judgment. Beloved, Jesus has washed you whiter than snow and qualified you with his own blood today. So you are as worthy can be. The most humble thing you can do now is to acknowledge Jesus' perfect sacrifice and accept his invitation with gladness. In 1 Corinthians chapter 11, Paul tells the church how to partake of the Lord's Supper so that they will not bring judgment to themselves. The word judgment in the Greek text refers to divine sentence. And in the context of this passage, the divine sentence refers to sickness. But when was this divine sentence of sickness passed? Any idea? Yes, it was passed when Adam sinned. In Genesis chapter 3 verse 19. When Adam sinned, death entered the world, and man will grow old and weak, fall sick and die. Genesis chapter 2 verse 17. So brethren, it is not that God is preparing sentences of sickness on people today. How can that be when Jesus said, for God did not send his Son into the world to condemn the world, but that the world through him might be saved. John chapter 3 verse 17. God is not in the business of condemning us, but saving us. And the Greek word for saved, sozo, also means to preserve, heal, and make whole. Beloved, God does not want you to suffer the divine sentence of sickness that is already in the world. So, he has given you a way of escape, paid for by the blood of his Son. He wants you to be healthy and whole without the disease or without diseases of the world. And God has made this possible for you through the Holy Communion. So, therefore, don't be robbed of these tremendous blessings any longer because of erroneous teachings that have put fear in your heart. Come boldly to the Lord's table today